This interview is brought to you by Burn It Up Coaching and our 21-day challenge. And if you are an entrepreneur and you've been stuck, you've been spinning your wheels, you feel like you've plateaued, you just don't know why you're not achieving the success you desire in your business, then the 21-day challenge might be the reignition fuel that you've been waiting for to be able to get to that next level, so you can reignite your passion, reignite your self-belief, and succeed like never before. So what we'll be doing is clarifying your goals, your vision, your dream, what you're going after, to make sure that you are crystal clear on it, crystal clear on what actions you're supposed to be taking, and then set you up for success by dialing in those daily habits, the rituals that make for success and or break the success, and make sure that you're doing the right things so that you can succeed. And in addition to that, we're going to be talking every single day, checking in every single day for 21 days. I'm going to have your back and make sure that I'm there supporting you, checking in. Are you empowered? Are you fired up? What are the actions that you're producing and taking to be able to produce the results? In addition to that, we'll do deep dive coaching calls at least once a week, more if we need to, and that will make sure that you're staying on the right track and empowered, fired up, and you're not getting in your own way, self-sabotaging, got blind spots, all that nonsense. So that'll make sure that those are out of the way, and that is with the 21-day challenge. So if you're interested, send me a message. Would love to talk to you about that and get you involved in your next 21-day challenge. But I only work with 5 people at a time, so if it is for you, then let me know, and we'll see if you make the spot for the next round, okay? And this interview is definitely brought to you by, as well, iTunes Reviews of the Week. So if you want to leave us a review to keep the show going and let us know how we're doing, we always appreciate that. So the review this week is left by Rosie Rosebud, and Rosie says, Chris inspires with his wisdom, energy, and brilliance. He asks profound questions of his guests so you can learn strategies to help yourself become your greatest self. His heart is big to help others. Be sure to subscribe to keep inspired on your journey. So, Rosie, thank you so much for leaving that review for us. We appreciate you. And if you want to leave us a review, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes, and you can do that for us. Or you can search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on iTunes and find it that way. Or you can search on Facebook and leave us a review there if you're not able to do it on iTunes. We appreciate all those. Now, let's dive into the introduction for this next woman of the hour. Maria Guerrero is a tiny magic home designer that focuses in feeling the energy of the surrounding site, sacred geometry, and listens to her higher self to design all of her tiny homes that her unique and magical clients envision and desire with their heart. Her goal is to help the world reach true freedom, peace, happiness, and live up to their highest self by helping them design a home full of magic that's customized in design and energy per their own desires, personality, and energy. Maria, are you ready to rock this?
Yes, I'm super ready.
She is super ready. Awesome. Boom. You are now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Thank you so much for coming on today to share about these Casitas magicas.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm a little nervous, but I'm just gonna pretend that I'm talking to you. So
Oh, you're
I
going to
don't
rock
freak out.
it. You're going to rock it. That's all you're talking to
Thank
anyways.
you.
Just talking to me, having a great conversation. So it'll be a blast. Just have fun.
Yes.
So this is great. So we're going to dive in right away to the theme of the day. And the theme of today is self-image healing. Heal your self-image. So Maria, how has that concept, or how has that thing, healing your self-image, how has that played into your life so far, and what difference has it made for you?
Well, I feel like this year I've been consciously creating my life, and I've been focusing on me, not just superficially, but deep within, like meditation. Taking responsibility for everything that happens in my life.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of self-healing. That way I can experience the true magic of this world.
Yes.
And once you choose to do that, like everything starts to change.
Wow.
So I finally did it now. I've been into spirituality for 10 years on and off, more off than on. But finally I made the decision this year that I'm going to do it the whole year, and I'm going to stick to it no matter what distractions happen in my life. But yeah.
That's right. That's right. Awesome. So you've seen that when you focused on spirituality, when you were doing this learning and growing and the personal development, you saw yourself being happier. You saw yourself growing through things. You saw yourself becoming the woman who you know you're capable of becoming and showing up in the world how you know you're capable of showing up. And, you know, we talked a lot on our pre-interview call, and you have some huge dreams and ambitions and innovations that you're bringing to the world. So, of course, to be able to bring those to people and to the people who need them, you have to overcome the stuff that gets in your way, the self-sabotaging beliefs, the self-talk that isn't empowering, you know, anything that doesn't serve you on that journey. So I acknowledge you for taking that on and being courageous and making it happen.
Wow. No, yeah, I mean, first you gotta believe it. You know, as crazy as your dreams look and sound because nobody has done them, like you have to believe them. You have to be persistent. You have to give love to them. And I've learned to not tell people about my dreams because they're too different. You know, they're too weird, and then their negativity affects me. So
well, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you on that. I believe it's the right people, sharing your dreams with the right people. And
that's true.
So
I live in the Midwest, so
yeah.
they're pretty close-minded here.
So that's great because you're coming on this show. You're connected with me. You're connected with. I know you talked to Petia. She's amazing. She's going to empower the heck out of you and inspire you and coach you and all that good stuff. So you are set up even more every single day. The more you do this sharing about your dreams, that's how you connect with people like me and the audience who gets to listen to you through this podcast episode. It's through sharing. It's through being willing to jump on shaper calls and tell people about what you do, right? It's only through that process that you are able to get the word out there and find the people who believe what you believe. And there's going to be people who don't get it. There's going to be people who don't resonate with it. Your objective is to get yourself into environments and places where you can share that even more and find and attract those people. And, you know, I'm talking to you and the listener or viewer right now. Like, you have the ability to get into an environment that supports you too. If you're in a house or a place where you don't feel supported, you feel like your roommates or family or loved ones or whatever it might be are tearing you down and they're not supporting you for your dreams, you have to have some kind of conversation with them to shift that, or you have to do whatever you got to do to protect your dreams, to protect who you are committed to being. And if that means temporarily like divorcing family members or loved ones to get into a space of empowerment so that you can have your dreams thrive, then you got to do what you got to do. The question is, how worth it is it to you to be happy, to be fulfilled, to be executing on your dreams? So I just wanted to share that, Maria. You're doing awesome. And I want to dive into these Casitas magicas and tell our audience about those and what it is, these tiny magic homes, and what you're all about.
Well, these amazing tiny magic homes, they're mostly based on the lifestyle of having less, owning less, having not just material, but like like judgments, baggage, or what you're supposed to be doing, like just being at zero, being one, I guess, with God in a sense, There's different names for that energy, but going back to zero and just being your higher self. I'm going to a sacred geometry course in September where this guy has been studying sacred geometry for decades, and we're going to learn how to talk with the plants, how to talk with the rocks, how to talk with the site, I guess intuitively. And I love energy, so that will be my next step. I got my master's in architecture in 2015, so that's the first step, but I don't that's more superficial, the status, you get the money, but for me it's deeper. It's like it's a soul connection with your habitat and a connection not just with the house but like with the surroundings. So I want to make spaces where people feel like they can be their highest self and where they can grow and not just benefit the users but also benefit the surroundings. I know it seems really big, but benefit the vegetation, the animals. Like I want it to be one with earth, one with the energy.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. I love it. I love it. I want to get into that more in a little bit. I want to discover what we can do, what we can learn about these tiny magic homes, and what are the distinctions of those, and how do we know what that is and if it's right for us, that kind of thing. Before that, I want to dive into your journey of how you got to be this person who was so passionate about these tiny magic homes, and you are, doing the sacred geometry, you're doing the spirituality, you're doing lots of really cool stuff. So let's go back to those formative years. What were those decision points that had you know that this was the right path for you?
Definitely. Well, this will be when I was 10 years old. I'm 28 now, and at 10 years old, I was living in Mexico, and my parents, back in the 90s, just like a lot of Mexican parents, they wanted to come to USA to give their kids a better future. So I was one of those. And when we came to USA, I was very sad, very depressed. And I grew up, Mexico is a Catholic country. And I went to a Catholic primary school where all the teachers were nuns. We would pray every morning. So it was very Catholic. So here I questioned a lot of it. I'm like, if God loved me, why would he tear me apart from my country, my friends, and my family? So I grew very angry in middle school. And obviously, like, it was a lot of pain. So in high school, I made a choice to change, and then I went to Barnes and Nobles when I was 17, and this book just like spoke to me. I felt it's called Conversations with God by Neale Walsch, and I was still very Catholic. I believed in the Satan in God, but I was mad at them, But then that book, I read the back, and I connected with every single word that it said, and I wasn't a reader at all, I was more like into sports, but I bought it. It was my first book that I truly loved and bought, and I read every page, and I feel like with every page I grew, and I just because I had so many questions of why I was here, and that book answered most of my questions, and half of them I didn't know what it meant. Like, I remember one sentence that I was so confused for years that said, "As within is without."
Yeah.
And I never got it until like a couple years, maybe this year. But so yeah, it was like, being in a very restrictive religious environment, and then questioning, and then just, I guess, getting gifts from the universe.
Beautiful. So you found this book, and then, like, what was it about the book that made you say, okay, I want to go to architecture, or I want to protect the environment? That's something that I'm passionate about. How did that evolve?
Well, so my family brought me and my sister here to have a better future, and I want to study art. Like, that's my passion, and it still is. And my parents were like, no, you're gonna be homeless with art. We're not gonna help you if you study art. They came here so we would have a better life. They were literal. So they're like, they recommended it. They're like, you're good at drawing, you should study architecture. And they're like, if it sounds negative, but if you don't, if you study something lower than that, then we're not gonna help you. So I kind of was forced into architecture. I loved the first years because it was very creative, very abstract, and very philosophical. So I really loved it. And after 3 years, it got very political, where people were BSing their design, and I was still very passionate. So I kind of took some time off because it wasn't me, it wasn't art anymore. Right. And somehow I got pushed again to finish it, because this is why my parents brought me. So I finished it, and then, but I always did every semester with the intention, I'm going to do art after I graduate, because a lot of people were taking internships, and I feel like their souls were lost. Like, they didn't have that spirit of like being creative. They were very technical, in fourth and fifth year.
Right.
And then after school, I got a construction internship to build the first rammed earth house in Alaska.
Wow.
Where this hippie general contractor travels the country and even Mexico, and specializes in building these houses out of dirt. So he's the one who motivated me, inspired me to do what I love, because that's weird. You don't hear about a guy who specializes in building walls out of dirt, and being happy and traveling the world. So I wanted to do something like that, and that's when I decided I want to do tiny homes, so people don't have to go through what I went through. Like doing what you're supposed to be doing because you're told to. So. Yeah.
Beautiful. So you spent this time with the hippie contractor. What did you learn? What did you learn from him? What were some of those pieces of wisdom that you picked up along the way?
I mean, just how happy and confident he sounded and how proud he would talk about his previous projects. Like, he was never ever negative. He was very adventurous. He lived in a trailer with his wife, daughter, and a dog. And with me and my family that we came here to have a better life, like that's like a downgrade. So in Alaska, that's where I had my first experience of like seeing real hippies, because he brought his assistant from California, and he was like a surfer hippie with long hair, and that was my first time seeing hippies. Because I grew up in Kansas, like very Midwestern, very proper. So, and this was 3 years ago, 2015. So I've grown a ton in these 3 years, and Alaska and meeting the GC, his assistant, and just seeing how happy they were without having much is like, and then being in Alaska, like I've never been in such big mountains and in a place. And okay, so Alaska is 2.5 times bigger than Texas, and it's one of the least populated states in the USA.
Right.
So you can imagine how empty it was of people, of buildings, of cars. Like it was so. Like I feel like I experienced heaven there. Like, wow. So yeah, it's a long story of how I got here, but everything has its place. And I work at a corporate job, but it's like, I guess like school, like I know where I want to go. Like I know my end goal.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
yeah,
it's a great background, and I see that you worked with this contractor, and he was happy, he was fulfilled, he was like energized about his past successes and past homes he'd built. So like, oh, that feels good, when you're doing that. And then you went out to Alaska, and you're like, ooh, nature, like close to God, heaven. This is beautiful, right? So then you still have this corporate job, but you also started building this Casitas magicas on the side. So tell us how that was born, how you came up with the name, and what it's all about in building these homes, and like the progression of that.
Well, in architecture school, like more in the end of the program, at the master's program, they would tell us you don't get to design unless you're the owner of the company. And you're gonna start off designing like restrooms and stairs, and which is kind of what I do now, but that's what we were told. And obviously I would talk to interns that worked at architecture firms during the summer, and like they would do like very boring stuff like on the computer. And hold on, what was the question? How I got into tiny homes. So so after coming back from Alaska, like I was kind of sad and depressed, because I came here and got my first office job at a 3-person firm designing residential houses in front of a computer. Oh my gosh, in a tiny room. And I did not want to lose my design skills and what I learned in school, and so I started doing design competitions. And my first design competition was a tiny home village in Chicago for the homeless. Wow. Just for fun. Like it was a goal for me. I'm like, I'm just gonna do design competitions in my free time, because I don't want to lose what I want to specialize after I get my license. So it started off with the tiny homes, and then I wasn't really into the tiny homes. I don't know why I did it. It just came to me. And then I guess I found another competition, and it was on a tiny home design, and I just went with it. Like, I'm like, this is what I want to do. I want to do tiny homes, but they were all for like homeless. And I said, no, I want to do tiny homes for me, and then for people. And then I started to follow people on Instagram, and the van life and tiny home on wheels, and how happy they were. And so I did it, for me. And then I feel like we're in this earth to help others, so I want to help others through helping me. And I think this is how people should live too. Like, being free, following their dreams, and just like living up to their highest self. Not
Beautiful.
when they're 28, but when they're young.
All throughout life, every year, every
Yeah.
moment. That
Yeah.
should be. I believe that is. We're going to teach that to our kids and to our
Yeah.
generations and everyone who is on the planet from now on. Like that's what I stand for. That's what everyone who I'm surrounding myself with stands for. That's what you stand for, is to be your highest self, right? And we all
Yeah.
do it in different ways. We do it with different vehicles. So I love that yours is tiny homes, which like we've never interviewed any architect or tiny home designer on the show. So I think it's fascinating for me. I love learning new things. So in terms of the design process, I've seen a bunch of different designs that you have, and for everyone who hasn't seen her website, go to Casitas magicas or magicas, however you want to spell it. Look at the show notes. You'll find the spelling
Yes.
if you don't know how to spell it. But it's CASITAS MAGICAS.com. So go there, and she also has a Instagram. So I've seen your designs, and they're all like brilliant and different and using those sacred geometry. So tell us about that design process and what you think about when you're designing these, drawing them, imagining them, that kind of thing.
Well, I love design competitions because there's no limit on budget or anything. So I'll give that as an example. But first I get into the facts. What does the client want?
Mm-hmm.
And where is the site? You have to have the facts. And then I dive into intuition and I guess talking to my higher self, like, what do they truly want? Yes, they do want 2 rooms and a kitchen and an infinity pool and all this, but like, what do they really want? Like, they want peace, they want tranquility, they want relaxation, they want to just let go and be free, more general.
Yeah.
And then I get more general. Like, I just get into the feeling, like, what do they truly want? They want beauty, they want magic, which is nobody really thinks about, but I feel like this is what ultimately people want. They want to live up to their highest self.
Yeah.
So usually almost every design comes to the same conclusion. Like, they want beauty, magic, healing, like, even though they can express it and we want all these windows and we want all this. Everybody has a different style, and I can kind of figure it out by the way they describe it. But ultimately, I try to sketch just very abstract way while I'm feeling the feeling of beauty and magic. Like, I have to get in the mood. I cannot just, be multitasking, like watching a movie and drawing. Like, I need to be alone. I need to have my music in the background. And then I get into the mood. I get that feeling of magic or beauty or healing, or whatever I want this design to feel when the client sees it. And then I start drawing. So I feel like it takes me more time to get into the mood and then the process than it is to like draw it.
Yeah. Well, have you read the War of Art by Stephen Pressfield?
No.
Should write that down and read that book.
Okay.
I'm going to write it down for the show notes too. War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. The reason why is because he talks about, especially when you're an artist, if you don't feel like drawing, writing, creating, building, whatever it might be, like, that's especially when you're supposed to do it, because you're supposed to like just challenge yourself to get outside of your comfort zone, even when you don't feel it, because this art is your livelihood. And if you get to this reliance upon, I only do it when I feel good, I only do it when I feel like in the mood or I'm quote unquote ready, then you might have these periods of time, weeks even, or months in your life where you're like, I'm not inspired, or blah, 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 blah. Versus if you say, I'm disciplined with my creation and I do it every day or Monday through Friday for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it might be, you start giving yourself that baseline to know that, hey, if I wake up, I know I got 30 minutes to create a new house. I got 30 minutes to draw something new, to come up with a new idea. And, maybe it takes longer than that to do that. So you would have to figure out what works for you. But it's really important. And I know for like writing a book, that if someone wants to write a book, they get up every freaking day and they write for 30 minutes. They write for 60 minutes. They just type away. Doesn't matter if they keep typing the same line, deleting it, typing the same line, deleting it, typing the same line, deleting it, because what is important is that they show up to do the work. They honor their commitment. They honor their discipline. And instead of waiting for the inspiration to strike, they strike by taking action. The inspiration strikes by constantly being in that action and disciplining themselves.
Wow, sounds super interesting. I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy the book, definitely.
Yeah. War
Yeah,
of Art.
right now it's just design, maybe because I'm working full time. I'm studying for my licensure, which I'm almost done. Like I'll forcefully make time at least once a month, like 2 weekends a month, which is dedicated to one project or competition.
Right.
Which is not enough, to get that habit of doing it every day, which is a dream. Like that's what I want to wake up to do every day. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there's no better time to start than now, even if
True.
it's just 5 minutes and you just do like a quick sketch of different shapes, different textures, different whatever, you can give yourself all these different kind of ideas or context, like a frame to put it in. It's like, hey, I want this to be like a porous material that these people want, that they don't care about insulation or something like that. I don't know. Like you could figure out what that is, but glass shapes and geometry, all that good stuff. So sacred geometry, I think, is one of the most interesting parts about it. So tell us more what you know about that. I know you're going to be taking a course later on, but just what you've learned so far and why that was important to you, why it stood out for you.
Well, we studied a little bit of this in architecture school, especially the first year. So the Egyptians, the Romans, the Greeks, they designed with this sacred geometry, which is the golden ratio, the Fibonacci series, and I guess with the stars in the sun.
Yeah.
And I've only been to the Pantheon, and I want to go, to the Egyptian pyramids and to the Mexican pyramids. But when I see pictures and when I saw the Pantheon in person, like it has a sense of, I don't even know how to describe it, of magic, of belonging, of like. A lot of presence. And I think it's because they used this sacred geometry. And obviously, I'm sure you've heard of sacred geometry, that everything has these numbers: nature, flowers, the universe. Like all these numbers are embedded into everything that's living. So that's really all I know about sacred geometry. And I use those, like the golden ratio and the Fibonacci series, to get the proportions, general proportions of the houses.
Right.
And then I go with my intuition.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, at this sacred geometry course, we're going to be dimensioning our bodies, the length of our bodies, and then that's gonna be the ruler for dimensioning the height of the ceiling and the length of the entire house. It's gonna be very sacred to that person that's gonna own it. Like, I love it. I can't wait.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is, you can measure someone's body, and using this ratio of, let's say someone's body is supposed to be 2/3 of the height of the ceiling, right? Something like that. So you'd measure specifically the person's height, and then you would add an extra, third or whatever, that would be 2/3 of the total height. And then that would create the most alignment for that person. Like whatever the feeling is that we want to create, whatever the outcome is that we want to create, then having those measurements, even the width of the room, right? The width of the room might be only a certain amount. If it's too wide, then it's too spacious and it's not able to contain the energy, versus if it's too small, it feels too cramped and too, contained. So it's like, same thing with the height. If it's too small, you feel too cramped. If it's too high, it feels too spacious. So I think that's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that, I'm sure it will, that it'll be healing for that user, like it's gonna realign their chakras. It's going to neutralize their energy.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be very specific for that person. And I know there was one famous American architect called Frank Lloyd Wright. I'm sure you've heard of him, but he used to design houses specifically with the dimensions, not, I guess, as specific as their height. But like if his clients was short, then the height was shorter, like it was for the comfort of that client.
Right.
And I remember in history that the professors would complain and say, well, if somebody else wants to buy it and they're tall, like it won't fit them, or like it'll be uncomfortable for them. And I always thought about that. I'm like, yeah, that's weird. But, I feel like all these great architects, they probably knew and embedded this, sacred geometry. So,
wow.
So yeah, I mean, and and you can't really, I feel like, see this. Like I can't take pictures. I can't really sell this idea, to make a lot of money. But I don't know, I believe it's real and I feel it. So I know
Well,
others feel it.
yeah, so I think the big thing is that we live in this age of information,
Yeah.
and like the way to make money is to transfer information. Like people are hungry for information and execution and transformation and results.
And results.
Right, results, right? So you know that you're going to get results, or it's going to improve your results by going to this course that you're going to this November. So what you can already start doing is documenting your journey, what you're learning, what are the steps along the way, so that you can teach other architects or other people who want to just know about when they're choosing their next house. Is this the right ratio for them? Is this the right design for them? Does it fit their needs, or what are their options available? That kind of thing. So you can already start just documenting that, and within a year or a couple years have enough information that you can start selling that to people. You can start, giving that out as, let's say, a free download or a lead magnet from Instagram. It's like, hey, do you want to know how to tell if your house is the right ratio for you, or, whatever that might be. So people are able to get more information, and then you can, sell them designs, or you can say, hey, do you live in an area that I'm not in? Maybe you don't want to pay me to go build this house for you, but if you want me to work with a contractor in your area, you could get a 10% or a 20% commission to help them with the plans or something. There's just all kinds of different things that you can do to make money with this and impact more people and get the word out to more people as well.
Wow. Well, those are all good ideas. Yeah. No, I just need to move to California, because
That's right.
I keep thinking that everybody's like Kansas, where like, it's weird to talk about spirituality.
Yeah.
Not most, but like, I feel like most. But yeah, I know in California, people are into this. Like, I feel like you can talk about it, right? Like just out of the blue with nobody looking at you weird.
Well, it depends on where you go. Like yoga studios, for sure. If you're ever in a yoga studio, definitely. But even just still on the street, like I'm in San Diego County, and I think still there'd be some places where if I talk spiritual, there's less people who would be open to it. But I would say more so, way more than the Midwest, 100%, or 1,000%, or 10,000%, or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I love that, and I love the sacred geometry especially, because it's like there's this code, right? Like this. Yeah. Imagine the Matrix, the movie The Matrix. There's this code that runs life that we are maybe not quite aware of, that we could be, that would completely change our results. It would completely change how we feel. It would completely change how we show up in the results that we get, and our level of fulfillment, our level of peace, our level of happiness. And I'm so excited for that information, that code that is constantly running in the background, the angles, the Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio, all this stuff, like to be known, for people to know it, because it's important to understand, how does the universe work? How does this house that I'm in affect me? We're so oblivious. We're so unconsciously, unconscious. We don't know that we don't know this stuff. So I love diving into this kind of conversation, because it's bringing awareness to these topics for people.
No, definitely. And I love like customizing stuff for people, because it's like, it's an art, it's one of a kind. And I know to make money, you need to replicate stuff. But like, I like, and I'll do that on the side. But like, I'm into fitness. I love my body, and I do yoga, lift weights, I run. And after 10 years of doing this, like, I know not to listen to anybody, not even listen to those professional websites that say do this or do that, because I've gotten hurt, I haven't gotten results, and I've noticed that just by listening to your body, like, what's right for you, just like you said, everybody has their own rhythm and everything, and how much to eat, when to work out, and how much you can work out. So yeah, I'm obsessed with that idea of like helping people be their highest self through just by customizing to their energy, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just like what do you like, what's your favorite color, how big, but like, to the deepest realm.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. And one other thing I wanted to mention is you said to have a lot of money, to make a lot of money, it's to scale, to have duplication, right?
Yeah.
So I believe that's true at some level. You can be like, for example, you can create a business like Walmart, which makes lots of cost effective things, but they have to sell a lot of them because there's only like a little bit of margin for them. So they have to have a lot of sales. Or you can sell more of a premium item, such as a Rolls Royce or a mansion, and get more of a premium for that. You can get more money from that, and it's just the different buying audience. You just got to cater to
True.
what the audience is. Same thing with a private jet. You can sell a private jet, but there's only so many people who buy the private jet. Now the question you have to ask yourself is, what's the impact that you want to have? Who do you want to work with? If you love customization, if you love the design, if you love the process of doing at, like, I don't want to say as much as you can, but having as much fun and flexibility and choice,
Yeah.
then your target audience might be people who are willing to spend 5 or 10 or 15 or $20 million on their casita magica, right? Like their tiny magic home might be a dream vision for you, and it's like, you're able to help them fulfill on that, and it's so important to them. They're so excited about it. They so believe in what you believe with the the ratios and the sacred geometry and the energy and the spirituality. They're so in alignment with you that by you having spent this time and energy to develop your expertise in that, and knowing where these people hang out, and knowing how to speak to them, which the world is growing in population of these kinds of people who you would want to serve, of the wealthy elite who wants to have a minimalist lifestyle, who want to have their choice and specific homes and environment and energy custom tailored to them. That's growing. So that's exciting news, because you don't necessarily have to do the scale model. You can do premium at a lower volume, but you'll still make as much money, if not even more. I think the people who make those expensive items do make a lot of money.
Okay. I mean, I guess I've been going by my past or what I've seen and met. Like, I never met a rich person having a tiny home. Usually the rich have big and a lot of stuff.
Right.
So, but I mean, you're right. Maybe there are rich people who want to live in a tiny, aligned, sacred, magical home.
Yeah.
Just gotta believe it.
Absolutely. And maybe it's not, maybe they have multiple. Maybe the rich person has the desire to travel and have these all over the world. So you may not be able to spend that much, or 5 or 10 or 20 million in one house, but across the world you could build multiple of them, because they want to be aligned and connected wherever they go. And like I said, as time goes on, more and more people will be aware that they have a choice. More and more people will be concerned and care and attentive to how they feel and the customization that is available to them. And I believe that we're moving away from hey, just get as much materialistic things as you possibly can, and more towards make an impact, feel really good, be on your purpose, be fulfilled, all that good stuff. So I think that that's a important shift to be aware of, and also to be sharing with people that you meet that shift is going on, to create that more, to spread that mindset in the world. If you're committed as a champion of tiny magic homes, then it's your responsibility to say, everyone can desire one of these tiny magic homes, whether you're rich and you have lots of money and you're making a big impact, or if you are, more of a lower income and you just want this to, save money or have a custom home designed for you, and it's just a good fit for your budget, whatever that might be. So I think it's important that you, as the champion and believer and the visionary of these homes, are able to share that with as many people as possible, so people wake up, because a lot of people aren't awake.
True. No, yeah, definitely. Wow. You're very inspirational. I'm just here listening to you. I'm like, yeah, those are all good ideas.
I love it. I love it. I love ideas. Ideas are my thing.
Yeah.
I think we both love them.
Yeah.
Cool. So in terms of like what it takes for you to be aligned and connected, what do you do to rejuvenate yourself, to make sure that you're empowered and aligned and fulfilled and all that good stuff? What fills you up?
Definitely doing what I love, which is designing tiny homes, working with clients that are in the same path in regards to, having less,
Hmm.
focusing within. So I love working with those kind of people because then it's not a job, they're not clients, they're more like friends, and I'm
Hmm.
just getting
Hmm.
paid to do what I love,
Yeah.
which only happens, like I said, once a month at the most.
Hmm.
And then I've been meditating. I meditate every day.
Nice.
Sometimes I don't want to, but when I don't do it, like bad stuff happens. Like I've been conscious. I'm like, okay, it's not a coincidence that this, it's not that it's bad, but like maybe like I, my coworker was having a bad day and that affected me, and maybe I
Yep.
didn't meditate that morning. I'm like, okay. And then I meditate and then everything's peaceful. So meditating for sure. I try to do it 2 times a day, night and morning. And then I started doing this other thing about 3 weeks ago. I started recording myself and
Mm.
saying my ultimate dream life.
Good job.
And and then I play it at night. So it
Yes.
replaces my negative thoughts, and it's way more powerful than listening to somebody else's voice.
That's
Which
right. That's right.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That is so true. For everyone listening, record your own affirmations, record your own
Yeah.
dreams, record your own declarations and goals and all that good stuff. It is so 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 powerful.
Yeah, oh my gosh. And
Mm.
like it took me a while to record myself because I'm like, I don't want to listen to my voice. Like that's weird. And then I did it and then I've recorded three now and it's like it's back to the customization. It's like you're
Yes.
listening to your energy, to
Mm.
how to your tone. Like
Yes.
there's so much resonance when you listen to your own self. And yeah, everybody should do it for sure.
Boom. Love it. I agree. I agree. Awesome. So, Maria,
Yeah.
what else do we need to know about tiny homes? Or what else do we need to know to be able to, create our space, to be the architect and author of our own lives, our own realities? What else do we need to know?
I mean, I guess it all comes down to you, to what you want. Like start decluttering within. Like I
Mm,
know it seems like you need to start selling all your stuff first, but I think it all starts within. Like what do you want? Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go in regards to, I guess, feeling wise? Because if you go across the country, you're gonna feel the same. If you're
yeah.
unhappy here, you're gonna be unhappy over there. So
Mhm.
start within, and then just follow your dreams, and then the rest will follow. You
Mm,
know. I've been working. Well, I started working with this guy from Canada and another guy from New York that have a similar vision.
mhm,
So this guy from Canada, he's been working hard to get the tiny home communities like approved by the city,
mhm.
and we connected through Shaper actually.
Wow.
And he wants me to help him design these tiny home villages, like of how they would look. So I'm really excited because I feel like they're more ahead of us than USA, I think. 'Cause I know we have tiny home villages here in USA, but they're for the homeless.
Mm.
Like why do they get to have the fun? Like why can't everybody live in a tiny home? So so I'm doing that
Mhm.
with this guy in Canada, and then there's this guy in New York that wants me and gather people with similar vision of tiny homes, but these are
Mhm.
gonna be prefabricated tiny homes delivered to third world countries that had natural disasters, like Puerto
Mm.
Rico or I don't know, these third world countries that I don't know of yet, but that
Mhm.
need a home immediately, like the refugees.
Right.
So there's a lot of concepts with these tiny homes, but my passion is, for everybody, not just the people who are homeless and
Mm.
who need help.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
know, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Maria, I love it. I love all the projects you got going on. I love the people that you're connecting with, and really just networking. That's so huge to be able to network with people and share the vision. Like I said, that's your thing. Is you are authoring a movement, right? A movement of people who believe in the minimalist lifestyle, who believe in like less is more, who believe in decluttering, getting closer to God, source, spirit, creator, universe, whatever, right? Like it's important that you appreciate how much you're doing for this new movement, for this new energy that you're bringing forth into the world. So like really celebrate yourself, like do that more often. I think that that's something that it's going to benefit you a lot, is like celebrating, wow, I'm responsible for this. I think oftentimes when we are championing a movement, we say, oh, well, what am I really doing for it? What difference am I making? That kind of thing. And that type of, I don't want to say it's like humble, but like meager and kind of, not really doing that much. That kind of thinking keeps us small versus thinking like a leader, like I'm leading this charge. I'm the one. If there is someone who's going to do this, who's going to change this, who's going to make this difference, I'm the one who's going to do it. And of course, there's other people out there too. And if they all fell away, I would still be in the running. I would still be on the journey, on the adventure to share the message. Does that make sense?
Definitely. Like, we get the idea that there could only be one leader, but you know what? If everybody was a leader, like we would be much more amazing.
That's right. Yeah,
you're right.
That's the world that we're moving into. The greatest possible self world is everyone sees themselves as a leader. Everyone sees themselves as, I'm the one who makes a difference. Because right now, everyone says, I'm not the one. They're the one. He's the one. She's the one. Donald Trump's the one. Whatever, right? Like someone else is the one who makes the difference. And what can I do? Versus, I'm the one who makes the difference. If nobody else is going to do it, then I'm going to do it. Like if I don't see the result that I want, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to create it. I will champion this. I will spearhead this. I will ignite this in my community and send out the ripples of what we're up to, the declaration to the world again and again and again and again, because it's so passionate for me. I'm so passionate about it. It's so close to my heart, that kind of thing. So it's awesome.
Wow, that's awesome. If everybody spoke like that, like it would be amazing. Like,
it's happening right now. Right now. my vision is a world in which everyone is choosing to be their greatest possible self. They have the choice. They have the choice to say, today I could be lazy. Today I could be my lesser possible self, but I'm going to choose to be my greatest possible self. And that just means that they're doing their best, that they're aware that they are responsible for their growth. They're personally responsible for their personal environment, the environment around them, the community, all that kind of stuff. So that's the world that I'm creating. And that's why I have this show to share about it and teach people about what it means to be your greatest possible self, interviewing amazing people like Maria to find out what it takes to be our greatest possible self in the area of tiny homes and minimalist lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. So just be aware that you're championing this cause through your actions, through your being, through showing up day after day. And people are watching, whether you realize it or not. People are watching, and people are noticing. People are being impacted by it through your Instagram, through your art, through your website. And also, people are noticing and watching when they don't get Maria, right? When Maria doesn't show up, when Maria doesn't share her magic and draw a new drawing, a new design, and put that out, like people are like, wait, where's Maria? Where's she at? Hey, I was looking for my new tiny home design that could possibly be my next tiny home that I'm going to make. Where's Maria? Where's she at? Like, she didn't post this week. What happened? Like that same impact is happening, whether it's, me with my greatest possible self show, or if I'm making a Facebook live and I don't do one for an entire week, like people notice that energy isn't getting out there into the world. So be responsible that you have that power to make the difference in people's lives.
Wow. Oh, this is all amazing. I need to talk to you every day. Yeah, we need more people like you, so I can just have a conversation with a stranger and be like, no, you can do whatever you want. So,
that's what podcasts are for. Podcasts and videos. Thank God for media and social especially this is
Yeah.
great doing a Zoom call and broadcasting this to Facebook Live, and even better is in person at a live event. You know, that energy transforms. So anyways, I'm getting up on my soapbox here. Maria, let's begin wrapping this up. And what are the final takeaways we want our audience to receive from this interview? You know, the like, if you could really boil it down into a couple sentences or paragraphs or a minute or two about what your philosophy is and why these are important, let's give that back to our audience right now.
Okay, well, this is a hard one because it includes everything. Like, your house is gonna have your energy. It's gonna be you. So why not choose a house, design a house that's customized for you, not just your personality, but for your energy. Do the healing, do the self-work, and then co-create your life, co-create your experience, your future, your house. Your house is sacred. Any space you go to is sacred, but your space where you sleep, where you eat, where you can be naked, like, that's the most sacred space. So, and it doesn't need to be big. Like, all you need are the essentials, sleep, work, eat, have a couch for friends. But yeah, I mean, you have unlimited magic within you, and use it. Don't die without ever experiencing your magic.
Juicy, juicy, juicy. Awesome. Maria, this is awesome. I love it, and I love talking about magic. So we had an amazing conversation, and I know people are going to want to stay connected with you and find out more about you. How do they get in contact with you, and where can they see your work and stay up to date with it?
Okay. I'm more... I use Instagram more than my website. So Casitas Magicas, I post at least once a week. And then my website, casitasmagicas.com, I post about once a month. But I'm going to be more consistent. You guys are welcome to say hi, send me a text if you guys want to collaborate on any project. If you guys want to get the tiny home communities approved by the cities in USA, let me know. Like, I'm down to talking with the cities. I got inspired with that Canadian. That's how he started. He started going to the city's office and talking to them in person.
Wow.
So yeah, I want to work with people. I want to work for people. I want to, make this place, this universe, or Earth, like a higher self Earth.
Yes, we are. We are doing that right now, Maria, and your actions are super clear. You're willing to jump on an interview and discuss it and share your message and be courageous and be proud of what you do. So I so acknowledge you for doing that, and I'm proud of you. Keep up the amazing work and the creation. Keep designing. Keep letting your passion and your creativity flow and sharing your gifts with the world. It's beautiful, and you are rocking it. So keep it up, okay?
Thank you. And don't stop doing these interviews.
That's right.
These are amazing. You inspire me to even keep going. So
thank you.
So I can't wait to see the next speakers.
Awesome. Awesome. Brandon Elliott is coming up next. He's doing real estate investing. He said he's going to actually be contacting you. He said he's going to reach out to you. So check the Facebook comments after this, and you'll see his comments on there. And definitely.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Maria. We'll see you soon, okay?
Yeah, see ya.